Welcome, everyone. We are here to spotlight one of our fabulous facilitators that we have participating with us at the 2025, the second annual Future of Strengths Forum, which I am super excited to have some really great people this year. And Lisa is one of them. And even though I just said your first name, Lisa, will you do us a favor and let our audience know a little bit about who you are, where you are, and just what you do in general?
Yeah, definitely. So, hi, I'm really excited to join everybody at the summit. My name is Lisa Friscia. I'm located in Brooklyn, New York, actually born and raised. I am
Yes.
a strategic advisor, a fractional chief people officer, and a leadership coach. And I have unofficially used strengths for a very long time, but was officially certified several months ago at this point. And so,
Congratulations.
thank you. And so leverage strength finders and just asset-based thinking within my coaching and advising practice.
Excellent. Awesome. Well, then that takes us to the next question, which is quite obviously, what will our audience learn from you at the forum this year?
Yeah. So I'm not a traditional talent person. I came by way of being a middle school teacher. I started at high school as a founding high school principal, and then started my own leadership development program within a growing organization, because you cannot grow as an organization if you don't have a leadership pipeline. And that's especially true for schools. And so what I'm going to be sharing is a little bit about the work that I did then, but also do today in how do you leverage strengths in order to build a really strong leadership pipeline. Too often I see leadership programs and internal programs being a bit too cookie cutter,
Yeah.
and asking people to fit into it. And while there's definitely practices and tools that you want everyone to be able to leverage, right? Everyone should be giving feedback, everyone should be having one-on-ones. You also need to tap into people's strengths so that they know how to leverage those tools in a way that's authentic to them. And so that's what my session is about, is how to do that work more from a systemic level, though we'll also get to talk a little bit about how, if you are a leader coaching a leader, how you can leverage some of these practices as well.
Right. And your experience from this really comes from what you did within the educational system, correct?
Yeah. So when I started that program, I pulled on leadership programs that I had been a part of, but also looked outside of education as well, right? There's a lot of great work that's happening outside of education. And so wanted to focus not just on the instructional piece, which of course is incredibly important, but if you're a school leader, you're also creating teams, you're enabling teams, you're empowering folks to have some level of autonomy while also obviously driving towards the organizational vision. And so I'm really proud of the program that we built. And then now I take aspects of that program and develop either cohorts that I run on my own, but also go into internal organizations to run trainings and cohorts.
And can you tell us a little bit about the educational system that you were a part of? Because I know it's a little bit more unique. It wasn't that you just came from the public education system.
Yeah, so we were a charter school. So when I joined, I had taught for 5 years in a traditional public school. Charter schools are different in that they are definitely public school, but they have a charter with a authorizer. And so every state, every charter is different, which is what makes it hard to talk about, because charters in Massachusetts, New York, California, Texas will all, vary in some way.
Sure.
Because their focus is different. But we were when I joined our charter network, we were actually just 2 grades. So it was just a 6th and 7th grade. I taught 7th grade history, I taught 8th grade history, and then I started our high school. And the idea was then that we were going to begin to expand first in New York, but then in different states as well. And so part of our federal grant that we had to be able to expand went to fund the leadership program specifically, so that we always had a bench of folks that were able to step into leadership.
Awesome. And I think that's really important for people to know, because we do talk about there's leadership development. We often think of, the boardroom, the corporate space, and that kind of thing. But obviously, as we're building an educational system, we want to look at that leadership, pipeline as well, and how you do that. So I love the point of view that you're going to be bringing to the forum with that, which is some things will overlap, other things will be just a little bit different because there's different factors to consider,
Yeah,
right? When
definitely.
you're looking at that. So excellent. All right. Now here's the fun part.
Okay.
We have I have 5 questions that are all roughly related to the future of strengths,
Okay.
since that is our theme. And pick 1 through 5, and I'm going to ask you that question.
Okay, no pressure.
No pressure.
We'll go with number 2.
Number 2. Oh, I love it. Oh, I think this is a good one for you too. So, if you could leave just one ripple of impact behind through your work with strengths, what would it be and why does it matter?
I think that when I, work with individuals, with organizations, wanting them to start with an asset-based framework first. And if that mindset is imprinted in anybody that I work with, like what already is going well within the organization, within myself, what am I good at, and how do I leverage that? I think that's the thing that I'd want folks to take away, because, whether you're working in education or behavioral health or in corporate or whatever, the work is hard. And if you start from a place of possibility, I think that empowers people, that equips people, that, excites people to be able to take on challenges rather than coming from a place of deficit, which I think is just demoralizing. And I think especially when you're thinking about how to broaden the tent for leadership and expand access to leadership. I think that, for women, people of color, first gen, whatever, there are so many voices that are telling us that we can't step in. And so having someone whose voice is louder to say, no, 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 there are things that you are good at. How do we leverage that in this space? I think there's also an equity and inclusion aspect of that as well.
No, I 100% agree with that. And I think strengths is a really great way to sort of, in a neutral way, support DEI. So where DEI is being eliminated in so many places, I think strengths can easily replace that in a way that is neutral and still accomplishes similar goals.
Yeah.
Right. So we can go at my pace.
Yeah, definitely agree.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for that. I am going to ask one more question, and we may or may not include this, but what motivated you? Because I know you didn't attend the forum last year and we're kind of new in each other's circles. So what attracted you to participating this year or to being a part?
So I'm a member of an amazing community called Fractional People. And it is definitely an asset-based, abundance-based community where folks really share opportunities. And I'm blanking now because it was a few months ago, but someone had shared the opportunity to speak at the summit. And so I've been looking for speaking opportunities and looked into the details of the summit, the agenda from last year, the philosophy behind it, and just seemed super excited. And so that's when I reached out to you and said, hey, I'd love to be a part of this.
Love that. Do you know there's actually quite a few people that have come to me this year from someone else who recommended them to be a part? And sometimes I don't even know the person who recommended being a part of this. So it's become a real 6 degrees of separation kind of thing. And that's very exciting to know that, right? My whole philosophy is to throw the pebble and be the ripple.
Yeah.
Right. So I love that the ripple effect is happening.
Yeah.
So I'm so grateful that you're here.
And there's that research, right, about like the power of loose connections, that sometimes your closest connections, not because of anything bad wrong with them, are not going to get you the same opportunities as people who are loose connections, who are just like, oh, wait, I know someone who does that. And so, yeah, it's just a great reminder of that research.
Yeah, excellent. Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time, Lisa. I really appreciate this. And I really look forward to your session. And for all of you out there, Early Bird is still available for 4 more days. This video will be up, so you should be able to take advantage of that Early Bird. I'll get this up as soon as possible. And even so, it's only $197 after the Early Bird, and that gets you access to all of the recordings, all the facilitators. Although there are workshops you'll have to pick and choose, which might be a little hard, which is why the recordings are really important, because you won't be able to do everything for the facilitators, but you'll have access to all the panels, the networking, as well as our speakers. And we've got some great speakers this year. So thank you so much for joining us, Lisa, and I look forward to your session.
I'm looking forward to it as well.